think I was born an anarchist. Like, if you look at when we growing up, we always question. As children, it's our nature to question because we're always learning and wanting to learn, you know. We become conditioned over time with our environment to accept authority. Like they put us through the school systems, whatever it's elementary, preschool through K, which is in our community is reflective of the prison system. You know, your time, get up at this time, go by the bell, you know, and from there, we're automatically anti-authoritarian regardless. But at the same time, when I found anarchism, or the principles, I guess, of anarchism, it was stuff that I already believed in, you know. It was like, all right, I already questioned what, you know, spiritual authority. Like we grow up being taught like this God or this, you know, is in the sky and he can read all your thoughts, you know, has your brain wiretapped and he can see everything, and you know, that scares you, and that's a form of spiritual authority in that sense. Or when I was younger, I used to think, how can another person tell me what I can and cannot do? Even like a judge, I didn't know anything about the state or nothing like that, but it's things that I naturally questioned, you know, as I was growing up. And finding or reading more like Magon, Bakunin, even coming in contact with cats like Ashanti Austin, which I could more relate to, I guess, in that sense, because he was a young black person, you know, living in neo-colonial conditions, in the belly of the beast in America. And he had a reflection of the Black Panther Party, which I liked also, you know, grew up and idolized and was like, you know, we need this. But he gave a critical reflection of it, you know. He said, this is where they went wrong. And then I started to get more so into like anthropology, and I started to look at like Native American, African communities, and like, hold on, like Marx, Bakunin was like, to use a phrase of John Henry Clark, they were Johnny come latelys. Like, this is the way our ancestors have always related to each other. You go into an African village, you know, that doesn't have a state or a government. You tell them we're going to impose a government centralized authority on you. They look at you like, you know, what are you talking about? Like, the way we relate to each other is face to face. You know, we share with each other. It takes a village to raise a child, you know, as opposed to the nuclear family, which I think is very Eurocentric in that sense because it's very oppressive. You know, it's put burden on the women, and it says it relegates social positions to certain people, you know, and, you know, it's looking at, I think more so looking at my culture and being detached from that, being a person of African descent, born in America, in the United States, where they don't tell us nothing about our history. You know, the only thing in history books is that you were slaves. And like, they teach us to hate Africa, to hate our skin color, to hate our hair, our lips, you know. So once you get back to that and you look at the foundation of of culture, of our culture, whether it be in early America, African culture, they live based off of these principles, you know. So I think I was always born an anarchist. And if you look at cats in the hood, even at gangbang, like, they are anarchists very much themselves, like more so now than they were in the 70s, because back in the 70s and 80s, it were pyramid structure. You had more of that, the elder, right, which they call the big homie, you know, here. But the big homie only has so much power, you know. The big homie in the hood can, you know, he has influence over the youngsters, but the youngsters can only, you know, they can take it, but they don't have that authority necessarily over their back, you know. And they question police, you know. They get older, they question their parents, because a lot of them may not have had their parents at a certain point, you know. Crack cocaine killed them, ravaged us, you know. When the movement was smashed with the Panthers, they brought crack cocaine in and smashed it, you know, our communities in any type of struggle, you know. So I think the question was how did I get anarchism or come into anarchism? Like, we're naturally anarchists, you know, in that sense.